We'll just give it a couple of minutes for everybody to join. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
All right, so I can see the participants joining. So without further ado, good afternoon, everyone. I am Avanti. I'm part of the nasscom Mumbai membership engagement team, and I, along with my team, welcome you all for this webinar. Visual data from cameras, sensors, video streams is growing exponentially, but its real value lies in how quickly and intelligently it can be translated into decisions. So today, our webinar is going to be exploring how advanced analytics and AI are transforming visual data into real-time actionable intelligence that will drive smarter, faster business outcomes across industries. Now, this session will also have some examples, practical use cases, emerging technologies, and how do we do the balance between innovation, scalability, and responsible deployment? Because video is always something which is confidential to an individual, right? So today with us, we have two eminent speakers who are shaping the future of visual intelligence. One is driving innovation at the intersection of video analytics platforms, and the other is pioneering AI native approaches that turn insights into impacts. So let me please join me in welcoming our speakers for today. Uday Adhyapak, he's the sales director at Traseer, and Siddharth Shah, he's the co-founder and CEO at iView Labs. Thank you, Uday and Siddharth, for being here today.
Hi, thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Avanti. Thank you so much.
So let's begin by setting a little bit of context. But before we go there, if I could request you gentlemen to just let us know a little bit about yourselves also. So Uday, if you can tell us what you're working on, what has been your experience so far. Over to you.
Yeah, so I have a 20-year experience in IT and video surveillance industry. And I have, to be more precise, I have around 17 years experience in video surveillance industry. So literally, I've seen the journey of video surveillance from being a analog system all the way to IP, and now we are talking of AI, deep learning, and machine learning systems. So I've experienced, I've been witnessing this journey since 17 years now, and it has been a very exciting one. I mean, the maturity of the market is like grown. It is no more a checklist kind of systems where people are extracting the benefits of video surveillance day in, day out. Uh, Prior to that, I headed organizations like Vision, Matrix, Comsec, Sony India, and CBC Corporation. So yeah, that's a brief introduction of about myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Uday. Thank you for being here. Siddharth, over to you.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good day. I wish you all a very warm welcome over here. If I had to tell you a little bit introduction about myself, I'm Siddharth Shah, co-founder and CEO of iView Labs Private Limited. Uh, uh, we started our journey about 15 years ago, 14, 15 years ago, with a bespoke custom development. We have gone a length and breadth from innovation to legacy software applications and bespoke development. Right from we experimented a lot on a lot of visuals and the front end heavy applications played a lot with videos, graphics, and all pixels. And uh, in 12 years back, we started our journey with AI when it was a far away dream for even for the industry and all. And that's where we built some I mean object detection solutions for industries and more of like a motion detection solutions for industries. We experimented something in healthcare, retail, sports physiotherapy, and all these things about 10 years ago. And that's where, on and off in our journey of bespoke development, AI has been a very integral part right from the starting of our organization. And iView Labs has been practicing in the three scenarios, three verticals extensively. One is the AI part, which I explained you, and now we are also building agents which are industry agnostics or department agnostics, and it's somewhere, which makes a real digital sense, along with the workforce management and the integration of the digital platforms. That's one area. The second part, what we do is the bespoke development, specifically into the healthcare area, where 70-80% of our practice is mainly in the health tech part. Where we lead our vertical by Inficure, and we have been, building patient registration apps and doctor-patient mobilization platforms under the umbrella of Inficure, and that's where we extend our practice. The third area is a pretty much known and pretty much a hot cake right now. We see that's a low code, no code solutions, and the robotic process automation and process automation here. So as you see, the advent of the industry is getting into the maturity curve. A lot of things have been already been built. They need to be implemented across the different industries, and that's where we come in play. So with low code, no code, uh, we extend our services uh, predominantly onto the business journeys of the enterprises and entrepreneurs. We connect each and every data points and make sure the process that automation has been enabled. And we give this, we deploy this with the help of no-code, low-code solutions. We are Wix partners, Webflow partners. We work on Salesforce, Oracle, Apex, on all these platforms. Of course, Retool as well. And that's where we specialize in. So there's a lot of engineering, lot of business consulting, lot of deployments, a lot of AI research happening across in our umbrella, and that's where we belong. That's where iView Labs belong. That's where I come from. And besides that, my younger brother, and that's where I connect. I'm into this video AI and the visual AI and visual intelligence part. That's my younger brother who is in San Francisco. We have one sister company over there led by him, that is Flow State AI. So pretty much it's like a Google search for videos. And that's, of course, we'll talk across in the live examples when we start the session again. Yeah. So that's all about us. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Siddharth. So let me begin by setting a little bit of context for our audience today. So as we know that visual data has now become one of the fastest growing data types in enterprises, right? So what has fundamentally changed in the last few years that makes visual data strategically important rather than just operational? So let me take this question to Uday first. So Uday, if you can tell this, and then I'll take it to Siddharth also. Uday, over to you.
Yes, thank you. So that's a great question, actually. See, AI visual data has witnessed a long journey. I would say previously the organizations were only having applications for monitoring and recording, uh, which has now advanced into actionable intelligence. Like now, people are using those visual data and building the artificial intelligence over it uh, for their day-to-day operations. So it's no more as I mentioned in my introduction, it's no more a checklist feature where only the monitor recording is there. People are using it for day-to-day operations. I will give you an example what Traseer, uh, the company what I am heading currently in India. We do a lot of AI. AI is jargon. People do use this jargon very frequently. But let me tell you, there are several real use cases, real time use cases, where people use this statistics to have solutions across three domains to cater to their security needs, to cater to their safety needs, and to cater to their business intelligence needs. Now, to give you example of each of these line of domains, security basically, we I can give you Traseer has developed deep intelligence into intrusion detections or safety helmet detections or loitering. If someone is loitering, it can detect and raise an alert. And these alerts can be sent as a customized alerts to a specific class of people, as discussed. as defined by the customer, as defined by the customer. Second domain is safety, where we provide solutions pertaining to the factory or the safe, which is pertaining to the safety of employees. So hard hat detection. We have a feature called as hard hat detection. We have a feature called as safety jacket detection. So it basically takes care of the SOP which are available in the manufacturing plant and also fire and smoke detection. So which are pertaining to the safety related features. And we go very deep. We have built up a layer of AI to cater to this uh, particular use cases. And then third, last but not the least, this is very important because this particular line of operations is increasing. The business use cases are increasing day by day because the third vertical or the third line of operations is business intelligence. In business intelligence, where the customer or the user uses his uses these analytics in his day-to-day operation. Now, some of the examples of business intelligence are, uh, if someone wants to have a count of the VIP identification, if someone has to have a VIP identification for his key accounts, key customers. Second, it can be how many people are visiting my store, how many intruders are visiting. We want to also understand what are the visiting patterns, like when is the peak time, when is the non-peak hours. All those pertaining to the business intelligence, where the user uses these in his day-to-day operations. Uh, that literally replaces uh, and provides him a lot of ROI. He can replace the human manpower. Uh, yeah, so these are the three line of operations what we cater.
Okay. So thank you, Uday. Siddharth, if you'd like to add how we've changed the strategic importance of the visual data from just operational to making it actionable.
Yeah, that's a very good question. And I think Uday covered pretty good areas of intrusion detection, PPE monitoring, and about the productivity issues, what Uday said. The fundamental, level where the visual data is now, fastest growing is because, as you know, this we have evolved from a traditional way of video data handling. Apparently, we saw this thing pretty much in a traditional format that where CCTV cameras used to drive the footages, record something, and the videos were either on the cloud or either stored natively on the hard disk, and that was something very much of a data being stored but never been used, and there is no actionable intelligence. There wasn't any kind of a trigger signals or stuff like that. uh, but now, with the advent of the sensors, the GPUs, the kind of the AI, environment coming in play, with the right governance. I always say that with the right governance, because ethical AI is something which is very close to my business practice, and I always put a lot of emphasis on that. And that's where the things have fundamentally been different now. With the advent of sensors and the edge computing and the GPUs, it's pretty much easier for enterprises, organizations, all the stakeholders to make a meaning out of the data being recorded, which is continuous and which is unstructured. So it's no more like a structured, like Excel sheet format. The data is, this is a video data which is quite real time. And how we make a meaning out of it, what is the underlying intent of this video data, is the next next area where the solutions of AI will be built upon, where the signals would be triggered, where the stakeholders will be coming in play, and where the actionable intelligence are going to, being worked upon. And that's where the organizations need to be done. And the good part is that now things are pretty easier with this environment, with the evolution of the GPUs, with the evolution of the sensors, and the scale of the sensors at which they are involved. So this is fundamentally different from what we were. We used to handle the data, we used to handle the video. Plus, AI will be at the core and center of the organizations. These data will be the core and center of the organizations. This means that it won't be looked upon like a silos, what apparently used to happen. And that's where it has changed. So that's my take on it. Yeah.
Great, great view, Siddharth. Thank you so much. So, Uday, coming back to your vantage point now, since you're providing the analytics platform and you're also capturing video, you're also owning the hardware. So, typically, how have you seen the enterprises they begin their visual intelligence journey, and where do they most often underestimate the complexity, right? Hardware, data quality, or integration. So, what have you seen over the few years?
Oh, okay. Okay. That's another very important question and very good one too. See, because the video surveillance industry has evolved from being a monitoring and recording. What does that mean is, in our current customer scenario also, there are hundreds and thousands of cameras already deployed in the existing site. So now, but what, as mentioned by Siddharth rightly, these systems are working in silos. So there is a separate CCTV system, there will be a separate access control system, separate fire alarm system. Within a CCTV system, there will be multiple vendors which do not talk to each other. So it becomes a very challenging thing for a user point of view because he does not have a unified solution. So it is being evolved. The need is there. The need is very much there with the customers, but the availability of the information about the vendors providing catering to those needs is limited, I would say. Now, when the customer understands the need, what he as you put it, what he underestimates is the not the complexity, I would say the designing part of it, or the bandwidth requirement part of it. See, because for a central monitoring system, for example, uh, we at Traseer we take away all the pain points of any system integrator for designing that particular part. We take care. We take the ownership of working with the solution. There is something what customer needs to take care is understanding the use cases, understanding the requirement, and uh, moreover, for every visual data, there is certain field of view or the camera positioning of the camera that needs to be taken care actually. And we are talking of video surveillance data. So of course, it will run in terabytes and petabytes of data, depending upon the number of days of recording which is required for particular customer. So it is very important to calculate or I mean to estimate the complexity pertaining to the network in terms of the bandwidth availability, in terms of the storage, and also in terms of how many systems are currently there for integration. We at Trust we take care of all the three complexities actually. I would like to proudly mention that. So that means we are literally taking out all the complexity from the customer and we are taking it on to us actually.
Okay, all right, thank you there. So, from Siddharth, your perspective, right, when you are talking about AI native products, what gaps do you most commonly see between the organizations who expect AI to infer from visual data, and what are the current models that can realistically deliver?
Yeah, that's a very interesting, question, if I have to say, because of course, when we talk about any newer domain, anything that's a revolution in the space of the digital and information technology, then there are always a gaps which the industry needs to traverse. And the biggest gaps, what we see, and this is a core of a challenge, is the context part of the video and the integration. And when we say about the context, we mean it's an intent. So take an example, the visual analytics is no more just a visual analytics. It is moving towards visual intelligence. Okay, so now, and when we say about what does analytics, difference between an analytics and intelligence is that uh, it's a closure of the feedback loop. So I mean, it's all about take an example. If I had to give, then there is a Waymo car running on a San Francisco streets, and I mean, on the streets, if there is anything like a crowded environment, the car should not just stop. It should recalculate the route and figure out the alternative route and take a course across. And that's something needs to be done. That's a feedback loop, and that's the context, and that's the intent, basically. So it reduces the false positive. So we this is the biggest challenge. So whenever we talk about the AI, the accuracy part is a major concern. So currently all the AI platform solutions, they are traversing across a 70-80% accuracy in the defense, in the autonomous vehicles field, or in the manufacturing retail. Of course, there are some areas where we have reached to the accuracy level of 90-95% as well. But still, they are still subjected to the very perfect world and environment like manufacturing area and stuff. But what about the areas like something which is wherein there is no predictability? Okay, so in that case, the removing the false positive is something a biggest gap which the AI platforms and the AI intelligence, the visual intelligence needs to be built upon, needs to be worked upon. So this one area, the context part is one area as a biggest gap. The another gap, what I see, is the integration part. And when we say about integration part, it's more about how well these solutions are going to fit into the day-to-day working environment. So it cannot be, looked upon like a silos, what Uday mentioned. It should be in the core area of the organizational's performance. This means that data, we have evolved out of the model accuracy. Now there is a part of the intent. That means there is a part of a signal. So whenever the signals are generated, seeing to the visual data, these signals are then being converted to some actionable intelligence. The example I gave you about the Waymo, it recalculates the route, and 20 minutes early, it basically recalculates the route and takes another course. So that's how the integration part happens in the core stakeholders environment as well. And that's where it needs to be modeled into the ERPs of the enterprises, KPIs of the enterprises, and the day-to-day working environment of the enterprises. So that needs the digital transformation, the AI transformation has to happen with a workforce transformation gradually. So that's why I always say that this should be as a center and not as a silos. So I hope that answers the question you
Yeah,
asked.
that's a great perspective. The last piece that you mentioned, that mindset change also has to be there, right? So
Absolutely.
going back to Uday, when we say that we want to turn this data into something actionable, not just be like alerts or dashboards or just a rule-based analytics. So what do you mean by that? How would you change the visual data into something which is actionable? I know you've already given a few examples, but if you could elaborate a bit from the concept perspective.
Yeah, see, for this question, I would like to touch upon the vertical specific use cases, how we turn visual data into actionable intelligence. First vertical I would like to touch upon is retail. Now here, there are a lot of visual data which are available. I mean, hours and hours of recording takes place in any retail environment, and the store manager or the CEO of retail, he wants to use this visual data to convert it into business intelligence. for increasing his productivity or for reducing his staff manpower or for his key accounts. So that is one vertical which keeps on using this, which is very very hungry for turning visual data into actionable intelligence. I would like to give one example of POS machine, that is point of sale machine, which is there in each and every retail store. So this POS machine is there, the cameras are there on the store. What we do is we integrate POS software with our system so that any particular pilferage reporting or any particular incident which is reporting at point of sale, because statistically it is like 37% of the pilferage happens at the POS level, point of sale level. So we cater to this by integrating, for example, POS software with our system to have an actionable intelligence and not being monitoring and recording only. The similar thing we do it for VIP identification, which is another visual data turning into actionable intelligence. Then we also have queue management, like for identifying when to open a particular counter, by estimating, by not estimating, by actually having a statistical analysis of the people in real time. We also do have heat maps, where as a store manager, he can determine which merchandise to keep in a particular area which is crowded, or he can raise his promotional rates for that particular space, and how he can justify it to a vendor by actually showing them the heat map reports, which is very much real time, So he can bargain the rates with the vendor for displaying or for promotions actually. So this is vertical, retail vertical. Likewise, we have other verticals also. We have manufacturing. So in manufacturing, we can actually count the number of bags which are kept in, which are going in a conveyor belt. We can have the number of people which can be counted, and crowd detection can happen to avoid any trade union activities. We can see, we also have number plate recognition, which is not number plate recognition itself, but it gives a lot of intelligent data. That is, we can search a, a car or type of vehicle based on the number plate. We can search the vehicle based on the classification, or we can search based on the color. So all these are visual data which are readily available with the camera. What we have done is we have converted visual data into the intelligence which people can use day to day in their day to day operations, solving their use cases, increasing the productivity, and bringing up the return on investments for these systems. And as Siddharth mentioned, it is not supposed to be like an assist, as an extension of the projects, but many companies have started taking the visual data or visual systems. Some of them have defined it as digital campus. Some of them have defined as uh, AI, AI initiative. So the programs also, they have started releasing within themselves, within their organizations, to take care of this particular aspect of turning visual data, which is already there, and turning into the business intelligence.
Great, thank you there. Siddharth, do you have any view on this? How we are turning visual data into actionable intelligence? I think you're on mute, Siddharth.
Yeah, so that's a very, again, it's, if you see, this is, there's a lot of things what we can find over here as an examples about actionable intelligence. So when you say about actionable intelligence, it's about uh, the the decisions without the human interpretation and human intervention. So any decisions which an AI takes minus the human intervention and interpretation is an actionable insights through the visual intelligence. Okay, so when it comes to the biggest challenge what we have over here is removing the false positives. Okay, so that's where the system needs to improve over here. So closing the loop over here, seeing the historical patterns. So as Uday mentioned about the heat maps and everything, so there's a lot of data which can be again be as a raw material of a synthetic data, and they can be again fed into the system to train the other system. So AI. The visual intelligence itself will produce so much of data which can again be taken as a synthetic data for the other, as a historic data for the other AI model evolutions. Okay, and these this way the actionable intelligence can be meaningful over here, and that's where I always quote a defense example. So one of the very good defense network, they train their models by the historical data, synthetic data, and they almost increase their time to the market for the products in defect detection by removing the defect detection, by doing the defect detection and removing the defected inventory and increasing the time to market by about 70%. So they were ahead. So this is where the actionable intelligence comes in play with the visual AI. So that's where the environmental systems needs to be taken to that level. So without the minus the human intervention. Yeah, that's what I believe.
Great. That's also a great, interesting perspective. So now coming to the deployment pieces, and we've seen, there is always this question that because the edge computing, there are advantages, there are AI native models that are getting reshaped. So how does this shift with decisions being made at the edge or versus how they're being made at the cloud or the in-prem deployment? And how the insights will continuously evolve based on how the deployment model is. So there, from your experience base, what is your opinion, and what else can we do here? Is
Yeah,
it
sure,
edge or cloud? Yeah.
sure. No, actually, the disclaimer is we are talking of video data. See, I would like to mention here is there are some limitations which technology offers. Like, for example, in edge of the camera, for example, the technology is advancing, but we are at that stage where uh, in the edge of the camera, SoCs are not that powerful to handle advanced algorithms like face recognition, which are very resource hungry. We are not able to handle number plate recognition on the edge in a continuous recording because of the limitations of the technology on the SoC level,
Mm.
SoC chip level. So yeah, we are reaching there, but that is why the dependency on NVIDIA GPU
Yeah.
is very much there. And as you know, it's like selling like hotcakes these days. There is all the talk of the town is all how to get GPU cards. There is a heavy shortage because of these aspects. Because we are talking about visual uh, data, visual intelligence, which requires a lot of processing power. Lot of
Mm.
processing power. Edge computing, yes, definitely for some basic algorithms, yes, but for advanced algorithms, definitely one has to go for a on-prem server. Now, your next question would be why on-prem? Why not cloud? Because the cloud people, I mean, a lot of vendors try to promote cloud solutions, but again, in security arena, access control has been able to do successfully because of non-video data, fire alarm panel, parking management have been these companies have been successfully be able to deploy the solutions on cloud. But we are talking of visual data, like it's exposing your entire premises to a third-party server. right? Which is a very, very, very risky affair. So it's actually demands from the customers to keep these video within their premises and not to host them in cloud. We do provide cloud, but it is only for the metadata. It is only for the alerts or taking care after the health status of the cameras. So those particular information we keep it on the cloud, but the sensitive data, premises data, one cannot afford to keep those data in a third-party server. I mean, that's a too risky. And I mean, recently, as representative of nasscom, you would have also came across a lot of news where there were backdoor entries into the video surveillance systems. Yeah, through I mean, through a Trojan or something, or a malware. One has to avoid. Those are different area of cybersecurity that we would have to have another session to discuss that. That's a vast subject. But yes, definitely it has to be on-prem video. Preferred is on-prem with the GPU, because that gives you more juice process the algorithms than on edge. That is my opinion. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. There, Siddharth, do you agree with this, or you have
Yeah,
something?
I absolutely what Uday mentioned is very absolute correct. And I also have some. So if I have to summarize what Uday said and extend my thoughts over here, then so we deal in a couple of categories of the data. One is a sensitive data. So wherever there is a health in coming in a play, the face of the people, commonwealth come into play. So face detection, they are the sensitive data. The health data is a sensitive data. I mean, recording a patients of Parkinson, or maybe recording the data of the players in sports. They are the sensitive data. So there is one underlying objective where we are resolving the issues related to the sensitive data. The other is the insensitive data, like oil and gas. If there is a leakage or there is a continuous monitoring of the PPE or a safety
Hmm.
protocols. So they are still, we can say, a little bit of an insensitive data. We are not dealing with the face of an individual over there, but more of an object of an individuals over there. So the whole game of the edge computing versus the cloud changes over here. Yeah, of course, edge computing gives you a faster response. It's more native. The GPUs are more, the more rapid the decision making could be faster and stored natively with the AI compliance and the regulatory framework in a play. So this sensitive. So this is particular. So but again, then again, there is a cost to benefit analysis as well. What kind of the benefits, the ROI, what the organizations and the enterprises are achieving in terms of dealing with the data, and in
Hmm.
terms of investment into the GPUs and edge computing, because of
Yeah.
course it's not something to deploy massively in a great volume. It requires a huge budgets and huge investments, and that's where these expensive investments needs to be justified. So uh, there are, of course, many challenges which are overcome by handling the sensitive data. That is a compression technique, encryption part, storing it in the form of some kind of a metadata, removing it, and then expiration of the data. So these all things are pretty much in a play. Of course, organization, enterprises, and the AI builders, the enterprises building this AI framework and AI platforms are actually continuously taking a feedback. How do we deal with this kind of a massive data? So that is one part. Of course, it has become pretty easier than it was. It is continuously evolving, but there needs to be a little bit of a time travel along with the case studies which we need to see how and what areas we can take care of it. And then there comes of insensitive data. That could be something between, again, as a cost and benefit analysis, whether we can deploy it onto the cloud and can be later stored and be used for processing the AI intelligence on it. And that's where, there's a trade-off. So, yeah. Again, it's a decision which needs to be taken by enterprises, stakeholders, and the AI platform development companies. Yeah. I think Uday is the best judge. He might be coming across a lot of questions like this in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
case.
So actually, my next question is probably, an extension of what you were saying. So thank you, Siddharth, for that
Yeah.
perspective. But again, Uday, coming back to you, since you've seen so many deployments, what do you think separates visual analytics deployments that, scale across enterprises from those that remain like pilots? Is it the technology maturity of the organization? Is it like change management? Is it regulatory comfort, or is it, simply ROI clarity, like how Siddharth was mentioning that there's a cost involved? So what separates the deployment scales?
I think, I mean, all the 4 points, what you touched upon, like technology maturity within the organization,
Hmm.
uh, because a lot of, let me touch all the 4 points one by one.
Hmm.
Technology maturity of within an organization. Now, some organizations are deploying video surveillance systems only for the regulatory sake. So they don't care about the
Yeah.
intelligence part. They need to have a regulatory. Um, you can see all the mom and pop stores, small retail stores actually. They only are instructed that you should keep a visual evidence of whatever is happening in your premises. So that is the regulatory compliance what we need to take. So we cannot expect much technology maturity from these guys. But where uh, technology maturity is for organized retail in comparison to the mom and pop store, where they actually have the technology maturity within the organization and they see every need, how to make the system more intelligent. So that is what within the organization that drives the need for uh, getting into business intelligence systems. Second point is the change management. Yes, I mean the change is the only thing which is inevitable, but change is the only thing which people resist the most actually. So I mean now we experience the change management not in terms of management per se, but it is more to do with a, user point of view who is sitting in the control room, right? The person who is, only habituated to see videos day in, day out, and then do a forensic analysis of what went wrong, if there is any incident.
Yeah.
If we give him, the more complex system, not I would not say more complex system. If even if a change of GUI, he will resist it actually. So I mean, it is very important for organization to understand uh, by investing in the system, it can be made more, the investment is more worth it, and it is like, it will give more ROI in comparison to the dumb system actually, which only does the monitoring and everything. Then third comes the regulatory comfort. See, I will give you an example. Uh, Most of the manufacturing plants now have started, getting notifications or from government authorities to have a backup of at least 6 months of data. 6 months of data. So I mean that is the regulatory comfort, which usually gets in. And if it is treated as a regulatory comfort, it becomes only a regulatory comfort. Organizations who think beyond that, they are the winners actually in this investment of their business intelligence. And definitely ROI clarity. That is what, as a solution company, we day in, day out, we give the ROI calculations of how our system can give better ROI than deploying a manpower, or how blind spots can be avoided actually. For example, so the ROI calculator of making the investment on the system is very important, and we do it day in, day out in our operations. So yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I hope my question was exhaustive, but I, I happened to. I hope.
No worries, no worries. Thank you for that. So, Siddharth, and again, it's a little bit of continuation of the similar questions because now we're thinking about, ROI, and then there is always some trade-off to be made. So, as visual AI systems increasingly are influencing, they are automating the decisions. So, how should enterprises think about responsible AI, cybersecurity, data privacy, the ethical boundaries, especially in high-stakes environments like already Uday mentioned the sort of data that is getting collected, right? So, what is your view on this?
So it's a very super subjective topic. But again, if I have to give my POV, then I always believe that trust always comes from transparency. It doesn't come from just running for the perfection. And uh, organizations, when they are coming into play for such kind of adoption of visual intelligence frameworks, they cannot just think from one, across the organization in a very broad level. Because the stakeholders over here needs to be clearly be held accountable for what kind of problem areas they are working upon in terms of adapting the visual intelligence. And when it comes to saying this, then we need to, if we have to solve this, we need to take things one by one. We need to really see which are the couple of high impacted areas into an organization. Uday gave a very good example of a manufacturing. So in manufacturing, you just cannot apply the visual intelligence by just as a showcase technology. We need to really adapt, into highly impacted areas, clear cut define the business or the a real problem case scenario, the business and the problem case scenario, and see exactly how can the data be being recorded over here and been stored over here, and in the regulatory framework, the it with the human intervention at the last level can be then produced in the right format, or the decisions can be then held accountable by the real stakeholders over there. And once we solve one two or couple of areas like this, we will be in much more better positions to convince the other verticals or other areas to adopt this gradually. So there has to be a step by step methodology by proving one particular problem areas, solving that problem areas with a right level of ethical AI and a regulatory framework, and showcasing that as a real case scenario, rather than just adopting it in silos or ad hoc way, just as a in a euphoria model. So that's what I believe in. That's what we also help the organizations do this way. We always ask questions like, what is the real business value of this particular problems? How who will be the stakeholders who will be reported in case of an AI taking some decisions? Okay, what if the AI fails to do this particular job? Who will be then held accountable, or how will the human come in a play? What would be the backup plan if AI fails in this scenario? So these are the questions which can bring a lot of trust, transparency, and create an ethical boundaries and a regulatory framework while dealing with the visual intelligence. Again, yeah. So this is what I we believe in. Yeah.
Great, thanks for that. Uday, do you want to add any perspective to this before we go to the last
Yeah,
question?
in visual intelligence, actually, video intelligence, there are a lot of cyber security framework already in place. One of such framework is HCQC,
Hmm.
which is like standard, as you know, HCQC is standard testing quality control. These are like government approved scientific laboratories, which every algorithm, which every algorithm
Yeah.
goes into a very rigorous testing pertaining to cyber security aspects. So, I mean, the regulatory framework is already there, but the data privacy, it is all the job of the internal organization to set proper regulatory framework within the organization to avoid such situations. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that, Uday. So, coming to the last question for today, for both of you, looking forward 3 to 5 years, what do you think will be the most important shift in the visual intelligence, whether it is technological, whether it is organizational, and how should the enterprises today start preparing for it? So, Siddharth, we'll go to you first, then we'll come to Uday.
Uh, so, uh, I believe that when it comes to the adaptation of the visual intelligence or video analytics or video data and the vision AI, uh, only the organizations and the platforms we will who are going to uh, have the decision infrastructure are going to survive and thrive in this case because when it comes to see gone are those days of just an object detection. That thing is just over. Okay, we are beyond that now. There is lot of rapid continuous data streamlined in a rapid fashion way with almost zero latency, almost 99.97% of an quicker way, deploying the entire data onto a real time way, and that needs to be processed. And so now the systems and the decision infrastructure would be built on top of it, and that is something like an intent analysis, scenario analysis. What is the video trying to tell you? Okay, for example, I mean, this morning I was speaking to my brother in San Francisco that in flow state, are we trying to analyze the scene of the particular video? For example, if there is a tennis match going on between Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic, so what is the crowd booing Novak or is it in favor of Roger Federer? And what is the scene analysis? Okay, so intent and scene analysis is going to be the next level of the things. So organizations needs to be ready for the intent and scene analysis. So the systems will be built on that level, the psyche of the video, what the video is trying to tell you. So that's where the human interpretation will be minus and the AI interpretation will come in play. And then there could be the triggers. Then there would be another thing of compressing the video, making it a little bit short. So it would may happen or it would happen that we might be able to summarize a 3 hour movie, a Netflix movie or a 1 hour series into some 15 minutes of a summary video, and this could be done with the AI itself. The solutions and the platforms um, across this particular doing this particular actions could be produced and built, and that's where a real-time decision would be also be impacted because, for example, there is a money vault thing or a gold vault in a bank or a financial organization. What the video has been continuously been monitored, what the scene is going to tell you, removing the false positives, how's the environment, what needs to be removed, what is needs to be done. And so if there is an inflow and outflow of the locker room, so how the scene is going to look like. So these are the areas, scenarios, the problems, the areas where the solutions are going to be built and the products are going to be built. Yeah. So this is my take on it. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds a very interesting future. Uday, how are you seeing the future?
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting for video surveillance in coming years. And the entire industry, all the industries, especially all the verticals, should watch out for this particular space. Because
Mhm.
I would like to mention two things here. One is PSIM, Physical Security Information Management. So it is no more going to be a silo system like CCTV, access control, fire, of different makes, different brands working in silos. It is going to be a physical security information management. So what does that mean is the entire security information will be converged into one single data, one single collection point. And it will be, all the systems will be exchanging the information, talking to each other, and for deriving some intelligence out of it. I will give you an example. For example, if the compressor is stopped working, uh, there will be days when the centralized air conditioning, the compressor stops working, and the fire is, if it is a fire situation in the compressor, there will be situation where the camera will automatically go to that particular area, will take the intelligence, will count the people and tell the security manager in real time what is the evacuation situation. So this is the system we are talking of. We have already started developing on this. It is called as PSIM. It is very much available with Traseer, where we are talking of different use cases using different systems and collating the information from various systems. Second thing, which is very, very exciting and it is very fascinating, especially in the entertainment industry, which is called as LLM. Uh, you might be hearing this over a period of time. LLMs, large language models, or for example, the way we are functioning, uh, or way we are operating the video surveillance systems. In future, it will be over the voice commands, and it will be in different languages. So you can tell, okay, camera show me, I mean, system show me camera number third, and I want to know all the alerts which are pertaining to fire. It will. So these are the voice commands. These are the LLMs which are a part of natural language programming as NLPs actually. So that is the world which video surveillance will actually be witnessing in next 3 to 5 years, and organizations are already gearing up. So the organizations are feeling that the systems are working in silos. So they are already converging various vendors into one system and keeping it as a central monitoring. Now the next part is even the central monitoring, they need to converge various systems and build a master system actually to solve a lot of intelligent problems. So this is the world, very exciting times ahead for video surveillance industry, I would say. And this is the most exciting because, uh, due to the advent of GPUs and more processing power in less, what do you call, per square inch, the more processing power, and it is taking off in a very big way actually. So there are a lot of good times, very exciting times to watch out for all the organizations.
Thank you there for that. All of this sounds very interesting. We just hope that people do it ethically so that all of us can have the advantages rather than the disadvantages. Thank you, both of you. There are just a couple of questions. I think this one is for you, Siddharth. What are the practical approaches that are being used today to manage data labeling, annotation, and quality control for visual data at scale, particularly when domain expertise is required? If you can just quickly answer that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good question, and even I haven't explored this particular area a lot. But yeah, what I have seen that it was so we had a one inquiry where the data labeling, practice was being outsourced to us, and we tried doing it, through the so the current way the practical. Approach is pretty much mundane. You can say there was we used to feed the data using the body cams of the workers from the factory, and then later these the datas were being processed, the videos were being processed for data labeling part, and the models were worked upon on this particularly. But then again, we need to understand that this thing is so there are two. The what I see that over there also I suggested one area where we could take the CCTV footage of the factories or the manufacturing field where we get the data pretty much right away from the security surveillance things. But again, we had a challenge over there as well because the CCTV used to only record the 15 days of data, and it wasn't recording data more than couple of weeks. So the data limitation was still there. So data annotation, data labeling again is a challenge, and I think few of the companies they scaled up their company very well, but they are again doing it manually, deploying the human workforce pretty much on the field in order to gather this. And I think that's something still needs to be worked upon or hacked. What is the easier way to this? Because Even Google itself, when they were feeding the maps with the information, they did it manually, and through satellites and stuff. So it's still a thought a thought area and the ideas area. Uday, I don't know whether you have some information along with this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, bullseye, I would say. Uh, I mean, it's still a very exploratory stage, and still, it really hasn't shifted to complete automation. There are still a lot of manual interventions which are in practices. Very soon, we will see advancement in this particular field.
Okay, thank you. So I think the next question, maybe Uday, you can answer. When scaling from a pilot to thousands of cameras, what architectural bottlenecks typically emerge in ingestion, interference, and storage, and how can they be designed out proactively, maybe?
Oh, okay, okay. So, okay. In this, I would like to mention the centralized and decentralized architecture. So what happens is usually imagine a retail giant who is having thousands of stores and they want central monitoring and they want the analytics to be populated on their central location. So in such case, what they generally do is they have a decentralized architecture in their local level, like the monitoring and recording are, it happens on local level, and only the metadata is populated to the central location instead of the continuous. Now, why do people do that? Because there are several bandwidth limitations which are still there, as the infrastructure, which is available there. Second is, the local level or decentralized level. They want to keep the data at the local level for easy retrieval. So there are bandwidth limitation. Then there are cost limitations, like the budget limitations
Yeah.
of designing the system, and there are storage limitations. Imagine petabytes of data flowing every day from the branch office to the central location. That is why the designing is done in such that it is decentralized all across, but only the metadata are populated to central location.
Okay, cool. Thanks for answering that, Uday. So with this, we come to the end of the session. So I thank you once again, speakers, you joined us, and thank you to the audience. I'm sure it was a very informative and insightful session. So do let us know your feedbacks post this webinar. And for further queries, in case any of your query couldn't be answered or you want more information, please drop a mail to mumbai@nasscom.in and we will be in touch with you. So while I conclude this session, my sincere gratitude to Uday and Siddharth for being here and sharing their insightful perspectives. Thank you, both of you, and thank you, audience, for joining us today. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Let's
Thank you
close
for
the
your
call
time.
with this.
Thank you for your opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.